Hey everybody, this is Abby from Realistic Kitchen and Gardens, and today is, what is even today? No, Siri, September 14th, which I think is 17 weeks post-frost, and we're fast approaching October 10th, which is my estimated first frost date. And my garden is getting more and more naked as the seasons change. So not a lot has really changed, except I'm really starting cleanup, and I'm only starting cleanup this early in the season because of mostly, excuse me, bug in my mouth, all the morning glory, which I deeply regret planting because it never flowered and it's very difficult to remove from where it is. So I'm gonna start at A, and I'm gonna give you a peek of my Brussels sprouts because they're actually doing real good and I'm really happy. So this is Redarling Brussels sprouts. I'm sorry you can't see these very well, but they're just poking the top of this taller mesh. Maybe you can see that one a little better. And that's Long Island Brussels sprout, and this is Redarling, which is the purple ones that are a little bit shorter. There you go, that's a nice look. And they're actually starting to produce right there. That's the start of a little itsy bitsy bud. And Brussels sprouts normally don't come into season, I guess, until October, early October. So we'll see when mine finish up. My one parsnip is still alive, and the peas that I planted, these are purple pod snow peas. They're coming along decently. I need to water them because it really hasn't watered that much. And then carrots are coming along. They're actually getting quite big fast. I didn't really expect them to be this big this fast, but here we are, because they've only been up for, shoot, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. Butternut squash is more and more scraggly by day, but they're working on ripening. They're getting there. Again, I don't know if they'll fully make it because of the powdery mildew is quite heavy, and the plant is really starting to die off. But these are really starting to turn. They're more creamy than green. I finally pulled out the support stakes to the tomato plants, and all the tomato plants are out. I also have started cleaning out the nasturtiums because they are such a large abysmal mess. So tomatoes are out. It's going to be no higher than high 70s. So I have taken off the shade cloth. This is the purple sprouting broccoli. That should be, they're quite short, so we're gonna have to see how they do. Marigold's still going on strong. These were originally planted right in front of the peppers and right in front of the tomatoes. So that's why they're sitting kind of funny. Again, the garden is in transition from one set of pathways and rows to another. Sun and Jupiter peppers. I harvested 2 giant green ones off this plant today. And they have a couple more. It's gonna get somewhat warm again the rest of this week, so they may have a chance to get big, but peppers are hot weather plants, so they may not. I mean, the low temperature this morning when I got up was 49. It was cold this morning for, summer crops. I pulled this basil out. This was a Genovese basil. This is the second pepper, which is a shame because it has so many flower buds on it. There's another pepper plant in here that I harvested red peppers off of today. And the last Genovese basil that's in the ground, I've torn out the other 2, I think. well, there's one more down there too. But I've torn them out because they're just falling over in the way. And look, we can see down the path again. Tearing this morning glory out has been a royal headache. Like, where it's at now is practically as tall as I can reach. So that may very well have to stay there until I'm able to pull those panels down to move the whole trellis structure. So in the middle is mostly nasturtiums and cosmos. You can see the cosmos upright in there. And that row has been empty since all the cucumbers died, so I need to plant a cover crop in there. Another mix of probably the hairy vetch, some kind of like field peas, and I think it's rye, or I may look at another crop. I have no idea. But the star of the day is these green beans, or purple beans. Haha. These are the Veller bush beans, purple pod bush beans, and for how scraggly these plants are, they're loaded. And the plants are nice and little, like the leaves are so little that you can actually see that there are pods on the plant. So I really like that. One of the things I disliked most about the green pod, and honestly the slenderette, was that the leaves of the plants were so big you couldn't even see the actual pods on them. Not counting they were green and look like the stems too, but anyway, if you recall, this was the row where I had the celery root, or celeriac, and I had Oregon sugar snow peas in here. This little bundle of them was from when I dropped a seed pod that dried out, or the seed pod dried out and stayed there. So these actually germinated on the surface, and I already have a flower. So if nothing else, I'll have some pods, some snow peas this year. The potato row is still empty. This, I think it's going to be like 15 feet or 18 feet or something like that, is going to be for overwintering onions. So I'm going to transplant them out in October, and then they should be, in theory, ready about a month earlier than regular onions planted out in the spring. So we'll see. I'm growing two varieties that are specifically grown for overwintering. A yellow onion called High Keeper, H-I Keeper, from Territorial, and then the other is, I think it's called Spring Red. I'm gonna have to double check that. That is a red onion. So that'll be 3. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. I think it'll be 108 in this section. Again, it's going to be 3 rows in that one row of onions. You can get them nice and close. And then if I ever have enough bug mesh, I will transplant out my cabbages, which are ready to go. I'm doing green and red express cabbage. They're a small variety that grow to be like 2 to 3 pounds. And I forgot when I was over here, this spot that did have celery root is going to have kale. And the plan is to put that great big trellis in here so that this, well, not that, I don't care about that right now. So that this path will be completely covered, and then I'll grow peas on this side in the spring covered, so that it'll be like a mini greenhouse effect. And I'll have kale in here, again, covered, so that I can have the cover on them so I can harvest it throughout the winter with mildly warmer temperatures because of the plastic sheeting on it. We'll see how that all goes. And I think the last thing to show you, haven't touched this row yet, but today I, with my day off, rented a rototiller and attempted to rototill these 2 rows, and this is what I got. On the bright side, I mostly tore out most of the grass. But the plan is that I'm going to be getting 5 cubic yards of topsoil next Tuesday, and we're going to broad fork these 2 rows and mix in the topsoil compost to lighten up the soil a bit, so that I can actually get the garlic in the ground. And then this is going to just be prepped for use very early in the spring for potatoes. This whole row will be potatoes. That whole row, the cardboard row, is going to be for, you know, summer crops. I think okra is going to be going in down here, you know, that kind of thing. So plans are moving forward. The geese are practicing flying. Been having so many geese fly over lately. So that's right about it. Short, sweet, and to the point. I mean, there's not really that much else going on. The sunflowers are still dead. The nasturtium is still giant and crazy. The herbs are still dying. That bed is still, you know, doing its usual dying thing. So that's right about it. I mean, we're starting to come to the season that not a lot is going to change very often, because it's colder and it's darker. So a lot of plants function both with temperature, high temperature. So like I've been talking about, peppers like hot temperatures, tomatoes are hot temperatures, you know, that kind of thing. When the temperature gets lower, the plants don't grow as well. And with shorter amount of light during the day, the same thing. Plants will slow down. They'll keep growing as long as they're watered but not rotting, you know, that kind of thing. So that's right about it. So if you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe for more, and follow my Facebook page, Realistic Kitchen and Gardens. Bye.